Someone in my class today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. Thanks for coming. I'm Francis. I'm the president of the Filipino American Lawyers Association. We are an affiliate of two umbrella organizations. One is the National Filipino American Lawyers Association, and the second is the National Asian Pacific American Bar Association. And FALA and NAPABA. Sorry, that's confusing, but you're in DC, so get used to that. Again, thanks, Mark, for hosting your firm. Please excuse the paper. I work in the government, so this is how we roll. Thanks, Stephanie and Jill, for putting this all together, and thanks to the panelists for showing up. FALA DC has been around just over 2 years now. It all kind of started as just a bunch of people getting drinks, just finding out that there were other Filipino American lawyers in the community. We're pretty privileged to have been brought into the FALA umbrella to be exposed to the greater network all throughout the country. So in meeting other attorneys who look like us, it all occurred to us pretty quickly that a lot of us were brought up without having had any example of a Filipino American attorney. And I think I can speak for almost all of the attorneys in our group in saying that we were probably the only lawyer in our family. So we really wanted to reach out to you guys and anyone who's interested in pursuing a legal career, because we wanted to be that resource for everyone, just so that you know that there are other people like you who share the same struggles. Not only that, but you're also pretty blessed to have this diverse group in front of you. In DC, it's pretty common for people who pursue a JD to maybe not take the bar or not, pursue what you would think is, your ordinary legal career. People might go into academia. People might want to, just write regulations, stick their head in the books, do nonprofit law. So, on that note, I'm going to hand you off to this panel, a group of people who are way more accomplished and interesting than I am. Thank you.
Thanks, Francis. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Wong. I'm the Vice President of Internal Affairs for Filipino Young Professionals of Washington, D.C. So I'll just talk a little bit about what FYP is. So what is FYP? Our mission is to empower the young Filipino American professional. We do this through several avenues. One is through our series of professional development workshops. Some past workshops have focused on topics such as personal finance and salary negotiation. We also work to empower our Filipino pros by creating and providing a network of Filipino American professionals and contributing to local Filipino American communities. We have several upcoming events we hope you all can look out for, such as our iconic Dragon Boat competition and our now annual FYP conference, which will be taking place in September. And as well, you can find us on Facebook. So we are excited to host this panel with FALA DC and believe this event will be beneficial for our community. It is already so hard as an Asian American Pacific Islander to find someone who looks like me working in the legal industry, and even harder to find Filipino Americans. It is great that we have organizations like FALA, and even greater that we have these individuals who make up this organization who are willing to share their experiences and support other Filipino Americans. So I'll get straight to it. I'm going to read the wonderful and accomplished bios of these individuals sitting next to me. So first we have Mark Franco. Mark assists associations, nonprofit organizations, and small businesses on corporate legal matters. And excuse me, I'm going through allergies. I know like half the room knows legal. Including formation, tax, contract, compliance, employment, fundraising, intellectual property, and governance. Mark also provides counsel to professional credentialing programs, got that word right, on matters such as discipline, accommodations, copyright registration, eligibility, and education. Mark has over 13 years of experience working with nonprofit and credentialing organizations. Mark received his BS Business Administration from Georgetown University McDonald School of Business, and his JD from the George Mason University Antonin Scalia Law School. Michael Santos is an attorney at the Law Center whose work focuses on advocating for homeless children and youth and their families' access to education through public education, impact litigation, and policy advocacy. Prior to joining the Law Center, Michael Santos has had a long history of working on the rights of low-income and underrepresented communities through the Department of Health and Human Services and various nonprofit organizations. Most recently, he was a fellow at the Clinton Foundation, where he worked on an initiative to decrease the upward trend of childhood obesity in the United States. Michael graduated from Brown University with a double concentration in biomedical engineering and ethnic studies. He received his JD from the University of Southern California Ford School of Law. And lastly, and definitely not least, is Gage Javier. Gage is a regulatory attorney in the Washington, D.C. office of Buckley Sandler LLC, where she assists financial services clients in a variety of federal and state regulatory compliance matters. Prior to joining Buckley Sandler, Ms. Javier provided litigation support in private practice and managed commercial and government contracts. During law school, she served as a law clerk in the Office of General Counsel for Interpol, Washington, as well as in the Civil Litigation Division of the Office of the Attorney General for the District of Columbia. An active member of the firm's pro bono program, Ms. Javier provides legal counsel related to economic development, small business initiatives, and domestic violence. She is also the at-large representative of the Filipino American Lawyers Association of the District of Columbia and is the co-chair of the DC Women's Bar Association's Career Development Committee. Ms. Javier received her MBA from Cornell University, her LLM from American University, her JD from the Appalachian School of Law, and her BS from the University of California, Los Angeles. All right, so let's get straight into the question. So I know I read y'all's intro, but please, if you have anything else you'd like to share about yourself, and one fun fact for that. We'll start off with Mark.
Okay, I don't know if you guys have this problem, but non-Filipinos cannot get my name right. I don't know what the deal is. It's Mark. It's a, it's a biblical name. It's very easy to say. The people call me Marco, Franco. Like even on the emails, my name, the internal emails, my picture is right there. It's the same naming convention as everybody else. Franco, comma, Mark. Okay. Franco, Marco, like not anything but my real name. So I don't know what the deal is. I mean, maybe they see my face and they want to say, oh, he has an exotic name.
All right, so in case I get your name wrong, I'm sorry.
I actually just got an email that says Marco.
Sure.
Let's see, fun fact about me, I'm from California, grew up there my whole life, and I like to do adrenaline things, so jumping out of things and riding motorcycles. And I once went to Brazil and I was going to go hang gliding. It was the first time I'd done it outside of the United States. And before I walked out of my hotel room, I came back, I rode really quickly and I ran back out again. And then I did the hang gliding thing and I was all good.
I also like to travel. So, I actually studied abroad in Australia when I was in college. I was born in the Philippines. I actually speak the language fluently. I came here when I was 13. And before that, I actually spent some time in Saudi Arabia because my dad used to work at an oil refinery out there. It was very interesting to live in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years.
So, when did you all decide you wanted to go to law school? And why did you decide you wanted to go to law school? So, anyone can answer.
Okay, well, so when and why, right?
Yeah.
So, I'd like to compare my figuring out going to law school to like my coming out as a gay person, because it's not an event, it's a process. And so it started when I did all this volunteer work when I was in college, doing all this public interest work when I was in college, tutoring and mentoring underprivileged kids in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. And then after that, I actually decided to work for a law firm, for a big firm, Scouting Arts, in New York City. And I was a paralegal there for a couple of years. And I also was not sure at the time what kind of law I wanted to do, but I really fell in love doing pro bono work. I work on a lot of immigration cases. So Scouting New York has a huge pro bono immigration asylum work, and really fell in love with the clients. I was really interested, because of my love for traveling also. Immigration law actually allows you to examine country conditions to learn what's going on in the country, to justify that person actually staying here in the United States. So I fell in love with country conditions. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to pursue immigration law. And when I went to law school, I ended up pursuing that. So I guess at some point in time when I was working as a paralegal at a law firm, I realized I wanted to do law. And it was a combination of all these other things that I've been doing before I even worked for the law firm, before I started working as a paralegal, before I did all this work as pro bono.
So when I graduated college, I did not actually go directly into law school. I took a couple years, and I was actually working in pharmaceutical research. Because when everybody, when you get started, you're either a doctor, a lawyer, this is all that your parents want you to be, an engineer or a nurse. I didn't want to do the last two, so it was either a doctor or a lawyer. And when I was in college, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But then after going through, everything that I had gone through for pre-med, then I went and spent, pharmaceutical research for about 4 years, I realized I was much more of a people person. I was interested in the story, I was interested in the people that I was working with, and that really prompted me to examine what it was that I wanted to pursue afterwards. And that was really the point where I decided that law school was more, that was better for my personality and in terms of also what I wanted to get out of my own personal and professional development. So it wasn't something like I've always wanted to be a lawyer. It's something that just happened naturally after many interactions with people and situations just like this, where I went to different kinds of networking events and I learned a little bit more about the profession to see whether or not that's an angle that I wanted to actually go through.
Yeah, I would say my story is pretty similar. I probably have the most amount of time between undergrad and actually going back to law school. The three of us, I was out working for almost 13 years. And when I went to undergrad, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. I even dropped out of undergrad for a few years to try and figure out what it was that I wanted to do. I ended up getting a business degree and practicing finance and accounting and operations. And I was perfectly good at it, was successful at it, but the work didn't really seem meaningful to me. It was very routine. It just didn't sort of make me feel that good at the end of the day. In that operations role is where I got exposure to some legal matters. I got to look at contracts. I had to deal with employment matters. I had to deal with intellectual property issues. And the one thing that I like about the legal profession is a lot of it, especially in the corporate world, is problem solving. And problem solving sort of fits, they're talking about the culture, and that sort of fits my personality. And so that's why I decided to give law school a try, because I knew I didn't want to, what I was doing now, I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. And I looked in the mirror and said, what is it that you want to do for the next 20, 25 years? Because you can't do this in that.
I think all of you here at different points in your life that you realize this is what I wanted to do. So when you realized you wanted to go to law school, what did you do for law school?
Yeah. So this is one thing I would definitely recommend to anybody that's considering law school. Talk to as many people as you can about the experience. You cannot talk to enough people because it's an arduous process. It takes a lot of commitment. It's something that can't be sort of approached too lightly nowadays. I think there was a time was talking to somebody about this earlier. There was a time where your parents would say, be a doctor, be a lawyer, and you would say, okay, that sounds like a good idea. I'll give it a try, right? I don't think that approach works nowadays. Any profession, especially the legal profession, is very competitive nowadays. Going to law school doesn't guarantee success. Passing the bar doesn't guarantee success. Getting into a firm or wherever else doesn't guarantee success. It's so competitive now. So it has to be something that you're willing to dedicate the rest of your life to do, because that's the only way that you're going to be successful, what you can control. So what was the question? So talk to people. I talked to like 3 people, not anywhere near enough. I mean, you got to talk to as many people as you can. So take advantage of all of the FALA VC members that are here. Take advantage of their time as much as you can.
The researcher in me said research and pull out books. Every single thing I could learn about law school, I did. There was something that came out from Princeton Review. I took out all of the giant book that has every single law school that was in the United States, that were credited nationally or within specific states like California. And I quite literally poured over every single law school that was in that book. But come to realize, fast forward today, if I have the same, if I have to go through the same thing again, my highest recommendation would be not so much, yes, focus on what the schools are, but most importantly, ask yourself what kind of lawyer you want to be. And the reason why I say this is because Mark is absolutely right. You have to know where you're going with this degree. You have to know what it is that you're going to do. And the reason why that is because you're right, it's a very competitive environment. So from day one, to be completely honest, day one when you're in law school, you should know ideally what kind of law you want to practice. And the reason why I say that is because your first semester, if you do well, fantastic. Take advantage of the internships during the actual school year. The more internships, the more externships, the more summer programs that you can take a part of, sooner in the process when you're actually in law school, makes your resume when you graduate more robust. That's why even when in this early process now, considering your personality, consider your interests, consider what it is, the kind of quality of life that you want to have in the future. It's not always going to be guaranteed that what you go in thinking that you're going to do is what you're going to end up doing. I went to law school saying I was going to be a prosecutor, up and down with the Sunday. That's not exactly where I am now. I work for a white shoe law firm, and I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. So have a good sense, maybe something in the public sector, maybe something if it's not in the public sector, something in the firm practice. Have those two as a backup plan in terms of how general ideas to what you want to do, and then proceed doing the research. Figure out which schools give you the best clinics, give you the best experience. Look for cities that provide you the opportunity to go to school but still do internships during the school year itself. Because I guarantee you, by the time you graduate, when people are looking at your resume and they say, you clerked, you did citizenship, the entire 3 years that you've been in law school versus the 1 or 2 people who've been hopping around different practice areas, the faster you're able to work.
For me, I guess the way I prepared for law school is I took time off. I didn't go directly to law school, and I really took that opportunity to explore what law school meant, what would it mean for me to go to law school. Like my colleagues here said, it's a huge investment. I grew up from a working class family, so cost is always an issue, and getting up loans is also a big deal. And I have met classmates from law school who knew after the first semester of law school that it wasn't the right fit for them, but it was too late because they already took out a huge amount of debt. So I couldn't have overemphasized the fact that you really need to know, you really need to want to go to law school and know your purpose. At least, and for me, when I went to law school, I knew I wanted to do public interest right away. I was kind of on the fence, given that I had an engineering degree and I could technically pursue patent law which probably would think way more. But I decided to do the public interest route and get paid way less. So it takes a lot of dedication to actually do that. And yeah, and then also on Mark's point on talking to people, I just would put a fine point on that. Be intentional, because I think when I go to networking events, I can spot from a mile away who's actually genuine about their interest. Right? I feel like there should be a way for you to connect to people, whether that be through your passion, through your interest. It's the best, you have to, I feel like when I do network, I try to be as remarkable as possible to that person, or memorable, by actually connecting with what that person's interested in.
Thanks for sharing that. So you all figure out when you want to go to law school, decide why, you start preparing. So how was your experience in law school? So much fun.
So when I was in law school, actually, I wanted to answer the question of why I went to law school. So Gage was talking about, our parents wanting us to be a nurse, to be a doctor. My parents actually wanted to be. And being the rebellious person that I am, I really didn't have a lot of options when I was growing up. And so I decided to go to law school, even though my parents would still send me newspaper clippings of job opportunities and stuff like that. So that's actually one of the reasons why I went to law school. I forgot the question.
How was your experience?
So when I went to law school,
I'm sorry, really quick. And you can kind of, bring back to your experience.
Yeah. So when I went to law school, I didn't really know a lot of people who liked law school. Probably the few people who were really into academics, like who looked at it from the academic perspective, or not teaching in schools. But apart from that group, I really didn't spend a lot of time in law school. I only went there in classes, and I found a core group of people I wanted to hang out with. When I was in law school at USC, we also, a group of Asian American law students noticed that we didn't have a lot of diversity in the law school faculty, and that's probably true across law schools. Looking at a neighboring law school, UCLA, they actually have a lot of Asian American law professors. And so when I was in law school, first year, I believe, I worked with 4, 5 other Asian American women to campaign for the faculty to hire its first Asian American law professor. I have to admit that opened up my eyes in terms of how we approach diversity in law schools, because the space is very important. It really is. And it was actually surprising because we got a lot of pushback, not just from the faculty, but from other Asian American organizations. Really brought up the question of what this affirmative action means in law schools. But our biggest group of people that we had to educate for this campaign was actually other Asian American law students. But that really gave me a purpose for going to law school and helped me survive law school. Like I said, I found a group of people I really like hanging out with and time with, and I still keep in touch with those people. And I also found meaningful ways to contribute my time both in law school and outside law school. So during law school, I did immigration law, so I continued working with LGBTQ asylum cases. I worked in an immigration court. I actually interned in different states because I was interested in how different circuit courts handle immigration cases. So I worked on the Ninth Circuit and also I had some experience in the Ninth Circuit in California and the Seventh Circuit in Chicago, Illinois. And then I ended up interning at the Department of Health and Human Services here in DC, working in civil rights. So it kind of evolved from helping immigrants to advocating for Asian American law professor, and then doing immigration law, and then doing civil rights.
I don't know how to follow up with that. When I went to law school, I learned a great deal about
law school is one of those experiences where it all really comes down to you, your work ethic, and your capacity to focus and string time management. Because it's not like in college where there are quizzes and there are midterms in the middle of the semester. It's the entire semester's worth of classes and then one large exam at the end. That's your final and that's your grade. And that grade is going to dictate where you're going to get into, whether or not it's going to be, a summer clerkship or whether or not it's going to be a law firm or whatever. So it's a lot of pressure. And you quickly find out your mettle, like what you're really doing that day. You quickly find out the kinds of people that you want to surround yourself with, and the kind of focus and dedication to do that. But even beyond all of that, you actually do genuinely have fun. And the reason why I say this is because now when I watch television, I'm so engrossed by the fact that that's not really wrong. I'm so, I guess the way that I look at the world now is so different than how it was before I went to law school. And I can't tell if that's good or bad. I'll say good. And the reason why I say good is because now I feel like everything that I do, every person that I interact with, I'm always trying to look out for them. I'm saying, okay, you're going to go, you've got a ticket, here's what maybe you want to take a look at. You're going to buy a new cell phone, here are some of the things you want to look at in the contract. You're going to go buy a car, same thing. And inherently what you end up learning in law school is that you start analyzing the world in a very different way. You start analyzing yourself in a very different way. And it's fantastic because the entire world is completely open to you now. I feel like there's a whole other level that I operate on that most people would ever go on. It's fantastic. Because if you don't even have to practice in a particular area to be able to help someone, that's the best part. You might not know specific law about that particular practice area, but you know the basics of it all. You know exactly where to point them, and maybe through networking, the people to point them to. So that's what's fantastic about law school is because you learn the foundations of looking at the world in a unique way that maybe not other people can do. And maybe you found a niche that you were just so good at that you become the number one person. When I was in law school, my experience was really great. I took advantage of all the opportunities, mock trial, working with the professors. I was also the fourth circuit governor for the State Bar Association, for the American Bar Association. So it was a national position. And that really opened me up to really what law can do for you. So when you're thinking about law school, think about also the kinds of fantastic you know, and take advantage of all the opportunities that come your way. Because you'll never know the kinds of people that you'll meet and the kind of person you've done with as well.
I'll agree with Gage that law school as an exercise is tremendous. I would never call it fun though, ever. It was not a good time. You have to go into it with eyes open. And I think with eyes open is understanding it's going to be one of the hardest things that you'll ever do professionally. Okay, you were saying that you have one grade that dictates your success in law school and potentially afterwards. I mean, there is a ton of pressure. There is a ton of pressure to perform in law school. And not only that, you're surrounded by people that were the top in their class, right? The people that get into law school are the overachievers. So it's not the same approach that you can take an undergrad with. Maybe you don't have to go to class, you can skate by on your, maybe on your good looks, at least partly on what you have upstairs. That doesn't fly in law school. The one thing that is sort of particular to my case is I went part-time. Do not go part-time, okay? And I talked to every person that I talked to that said they went part-time, they told me, don't go part-time. If you go part-time and somebody asks you later on how your experience was, I guarantee you're going to tell them, don't go part-time. Okay? It's really hard. Imagine working a full day, right, at work, going to school after for 3-4 hours, and then having 200 pages to to read for class the next day. Okay, it's an extra year. It's 4 years instead of 3 years. And it's still pretty much the same caseload. I had to take 12 credits almost every single semester to get enough credits to go, to graduate. So I think just be prepared. It's a rewarding experience. It's definitely a test, but it's not fun. But as long as you understand that and you're not there to have fun, you're there to accomplish something, I think you'll be able to get through the process.
Do you think being a in law school, additional challenges or experiences yourself?
So not for me, not in law school. After, it's definitely interesting because I practice at a private firm in this small nonprofit niche, and I'll go present at like a corporate board meeting at a nonprofit organization. Okay, I'll go to a national convention for an association, like 90%, like 2/3. I mean, even this firm, if you look at the partners, and I just want to give a shout out to my colleague here, Ari.
Everybody, how are you?
Ari's president-elect of FALA, Maryland. So,
just a quick plug. I welcome you all to the FALA Association. I'm the president of the Maryland chapter because of FALA PC, the national FALA. So a lot of the stuff you're going to be talking about are issues that we address and deal with on a routine basis. I'm happy to answer questions. Like Mark here at Belford, I started my talk here at this firm, this conversation at this firm, it's different stuff. And I worked for a federal judge, I did all these things you guys are talking about. But then when I came on some of the stuff, actually my best friend, who was a first with me, the Filipino American, Roger, and FYP. And I went to the same judge together in DC. He's actually not in Manila. It's working for a business, a corporate in-house general counsel for that business. So I've got some take on that as well. I was a partner in another firm, was in-house corporate counsel for many of our clients. I came back to this firm. So in any event, so I'm happy to answer some questions aside from now.
Yeah, but I would say law school, I went to Mason. It was very diverse compared to what I'm seeing now for the practice. So I didn't find diversity to be honest.
Law school, there's maybe a handful of minorities when I went to law school, and I think for the most part, I was aware of it, but not so much. It never really came up to my attention until I think the Mark brought the point until after law school. Now, everything I say here is also my opinion and not the opinions of my firm or anything like that. It's just a disclaimer. And yeah, that applies to everybody.
I'll tell him the same.
But yeah, no, I think it didn't really come to my attention. I never thought about it as much until afterwards when I realized, once you're in the field and you see that there's not a lot of people that look like you want to be able to be accessible to a lot of clients at the same time, there are people like you, like who look like you. And I think in terms of finding mentors, for example, it's a lot easier sometimes to find mentors that have the same familial, and cultural experiences that you have. And I think when you're trying to look for something like that, either in law firms or just in the law profession in general, it's a little harder to come by. Now, I'm lucky enough that I found these really amazing attorneys, but separately, I'm also the vice president of prevention operations for FALA, the national organization. So there are over 1,000 of us across the United States, and there are growing more people in this. With that being said, that was really when I first realized that there was a lot of Filipino attorneys. So that's really realized there's more of this, and I think it's important to highlight that we need to help each other through this process.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with what said. The student body wasn't, I mean, it was diverse, and the diversity was an issue for the student body. But definitely faculty, because I thought it was just that was being taught at almost all of them. And then when I started working for a couple of this group here in DC, was getting more. So definitely when after I left law school, and started seeing like things.
I think
And there's
there's
more work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's not just race, but also gender. We need more of them. I actually know a lot of friends, female friends who've done work at the firms, but I haven't met anyone who's like they put.
Yeah, just one thing I want to add, I think you can leverage it. You know, you can leverage that situation to your benefit because sometimes they don't, you know, the people in the room don't want the advice from the same people, right? The same people that look like them, the same people that they've been dealing with for years and years and years. I mean, to the extent that you are a good lawyer, and then you have some uniqueness about you, I think that can really play to your benefit. So, you know, I'm saying this, yeah, there's some work to be done in terms of increasing the diversity, but I think in some ways the lack of diversity is also beneficial to some of us that are sort of trying to break new ground for everybody.
All right, I'm going to ask some individual questions. So first, Mark. Mark, with over 13 years of work experience, how did that affect your experience in law school?
It's definitely been beneficial. I mean, I wouldn't say set aside 13 years to figure out how to get somewhere, but it's allowed me, for sure, to hit the ground running. Like, you hear that phrase all the time. Law firms love people that they don't have to train. Right? That, for me, was the biggest hurdle in terms of getting somewhere, because you'll find that even a lot of junior positions, they're looking for like 3 to 5 years experience, which is why it's really important to get your experience while you're in law school already and not waiting until you're out. I found out later, after I got hired, that they had actually been looking at me for 2 years while I was in law school because it was this special niche practice that not a lot of people are familiar with. And I not only expressed an interest in doing legal work there, but I had this nonprofit background, which helped me connect already to all of the clients that they were serving. So for me, it was very helpful to have some sort of professional experience. And I would say, you know, figure out how to do that. Figure out how to get some professional experience so that you know how to talk to people, you know how to manage your time, you know what quality work looks like. Those things are really important and can set you apart when you're trying to get that first job.
Experience. Why did you decide to get an LLM and MBA right after completing law school, and how has this affected your law career?
I was creative for one. I really enjoyed learning, obviously. And what I found that when I graduated law school, there was so many other aspects about working with clients that I wanted to learn more about. So I found that when I was going through the JD program, a lot of it was very foundational information. But the things that I wanted to learn, like intellectual property, like criminal law with focus on cybersecurity or cybercrimes, that was what my LLM was in. That was what the specific curriculum that I cultivated was in. And then when I was actually working for another company, the work that I was doing really opened up my eyes to the fact that while you are providing the clients, if you're a corporate firm, while you're providing clients with the legal advice and legal advice, it is also extremely helpful for you to fully understand the kinds of business concerns that your client is ultimately going to have. what do their timeframe look like? You know, one of the concerns with the C-suite is essentially going to come down to the, you know, director, the manager, and the person that's running down on the floor. So having the ability to talk about those types of issues as you are giving legal advice is two completely different practice areas and two different ideas that, as a client, I would find, oh my goodness, this is a very valuable resource. This is the person who I would like to speak with, because I don't have to find someone who works, you know, in a consulting company that can talk about my industry, and I don't have to find somebody that works in a law firm that can talk about my legal issues. I can marry the two. I can have that conversation. And I find that because I am female, I'm diverse, that I often need to bring more to the table, if we're really honest about this conversation, that bring more to the table and say, I am here, I have value, this is what I can do for you, and this is how we can work together. And to be assertive about it, but confident about it. So that's the motivation that I wanted to bring to the table. That's really what I was looking for in terms of furthering the education. And, you know, we're young. Why can't we do all of this? It's just because we've gotten the lottery doesn't mean we go beyond that. You actually know you can get a doctorate in law as an SJP. If you want to do that, if you want to be like an academic, a professor, you want to be a professor in law school, you can do that. So it really is just dependent on what it is you want to do and how much you really want to put into the subject matter that you're learning, and don't be afraid to pursue it. Because there's no such thing as an overeducated person. You're always, no matter what happens to you, you're always a type of your mind. You know what to take with that. How many years did you experience? About the same as a PhD, so I would say at minimum maybe like 4 years, depending on like what your thesis is and your dissertation.
You combine that with law school. You do that after law school.
So you can actually, I think you can do it after law school. You can do like a JD MBA, you can do a JD MBA, which is like different combinations. I happen to do JD and then LLM and then MBA. So if I ever decide to do more, I'll have to like really save up a lot of money to be able to do that. So, and a lot of time too. And I actually did my LLM when I was doing part-time. So I was working full-time, I did my LLM full-time. I took the bar while I was studying, while I was working. I think I was like, gosh, like a whole day after that.
Let's just say that's a unique experience. No one ever studied for
That's not very
Don't do that.
not endorse this.
There's a lot of things that we need to work on, but all right, so Michael, how have you been able to intersect your legal career with policy advocacy, nonprofit, and work?
Sure. So the work I do at the Law Center focuses on homelessness and poverty, or homeless children and youth access to education. Many of you know this already, probably. Homelessness isn't a system of action. Homelessness is disproportionately affect people of color, people with disabilities, LGBTQ people, youth coming out of aging out of the foster care system, domestic violence survivors, women. And so I get to work with those groups in different capacities. And right now we're actually trying to challenge the administration to attack immigrant communities and how that could impact the ability of some immigrant households to get housing assistance. So, I'm constantly reminded of these disproportionalities, and that's how I inform the law.
And the last question. Since obtaining your JD, what have you been able to do with your law degree, and how have you made a difference since achieving?
So I think let me put a caveat, like going to law school is not the only way you can make a difference. It opens up a lot of doors. But if you really want to change the world, steady, don't go to law school. Because I feel like we're bound by law. Like we, as lawyers, we are supposed to law. And so we have parameters to finance, at least in my but I find that restrictive. So it's not like I'm going out there doing activist stuff. And some lawyers do that too. But we'll do that question. Sorry. as a lawyer, I've been empowered and been getting all these tools to actually do advocacy. So working as a nonprofit attorney, in a small nonprofit attorney, I have a lot of freedom in terms of pursuing different projects. So I get to work behind the scenes with some government agencies, like virtually here in DC, we work with different federal agencies. And so through that work, I was able to actually inform policy that I comes from. And I feel like that's probably the biggest accomplishment I've had so far, because it was a Herculean effort to actually get everyone on the same page. It's no joke to work with them. But affecting policy on a national, federal level is for me is quite impressive, and really gives me joy and motivates me to do more work.
And definitely helped a lot of my clients get through whatever issues they were talking about regulatory and in regulatory space. But then outside of that, we're doing a lot of pro bono work in different types of areas. It's been particularly impactful for me because I've been able to, like right now, I'm working on an appellate case where I'm helping the domestic violence survivor kind of keep what the trial court has said, yes, you get, yes, you get, money, et cetera, and being able to work with a lot of people who don't really have an opportunity that to get legal representation, I think has been the most rewarding for me. And those opportunities you don't necessarily get on a regular basis. So having the chance to leverage what I know to be able to help other people, I know it's kind of mushy to say so, but ultimately, when you're armed with that kind of knowledge, it's almost a demand that you can do, because that's the only way for us as a team, as a Filipino community, to be able to get beyond our constraints of where we are now. So it's your responsibility to leverage what you've been given and move that forward. And I find that in my position, I want to do more of these kinds of outreaches. I want to do more programming cases so that people who are in those positions never lose hope. And I think that's, as much as I work within the constructs of like a corporate environment, there's also a sense of idealism that you take with you as an attorney. And I think whenever you do graduate from law school, you have that in the core of some kind of idealism as to what you want. Whether or not that's with a lot of money or help a lot of people, you can do both. So that's fun though.
Yeah. So I definitely see my work at the law center as sort of like an access to justice, because many people, like a lot of people I work with, don't even know on the fundamental level what legal means. Right? They don't understand what makes a thing legal unless they've come into contact with a law enforcement officer like police, where they've gotten into trouble and they actually have to go to court. And so really changing that dialogue on a systemic level so that systems across the country can actually change and focus more on relevance, and ensuring that these people actually don't come in contact with criminal justice system.
I'll say two things. I specifically chose an area of the law where I would help organizations that are nonprofits. So they don't care, I won't say they don't care about making money. That's not their primary goal. Their primary goal is to help the community. And so that's why I wanted to go into this particular area. It's because I knew that I liked the law, but I also, at the end of the day, I wanted to be doing something through the legal profession that was helping me. And aside from that, I feel like I have a obligation to break, I talked about this a little bit before, break the ground. There's not a lot of us out there. That's why we're here trying to encourage you to take up the mantle with us, because there's not a lot of Filipino American attorneys out there. There's not a lot of Asian attorneys out there. And it's really, it would be great for someday to that be different. And so I feel like part of what I've been able to do since law school is sort of help out there in whatever way that
And the good thing is that the people who are up here that look like you do are also equally looking for people that look like you do. Because that's how we create that pipeline. That's how we can start changing the conversation. Not all the way up here, but all the way, at the very start of the process. This is exactly what we want to do. So what you find is that people who are in our position, when you ask us questions, we will give you real answers because we want to do that. You might not always get 100% of the time, but for the most part, the majority of us do give that. Because, oh my goodness, you're from the Philippines? That's great. Where's your family from? You know what I'm saying? That's always the two questions that you get, right? And it's very real. And those are the kinds of connections that we start making. So I just encourage you to not be afraid to pursue this. It's an arduous process. It's very rewarding. And at the end, I will tell you that you will be able to do whatever you want. And it's a very freeing feeling.
Hopefully we're going to discourage you. I mean, some people find it fun, and some people find it really but just, going back to what Mark said before, people go for different reasons, and so just be open. And you will meet people who go to law school from, they know they want to work that they've done, their guts. And if you're one of those people, that's fine. It's completely fine. And it can be competitive. Actually, I think it is very competitive and very stressful, especially if you think about you're only getting evaluated based on this one example of the thing. It's like, I think, terrible. But I also came from at Brown, where I did my undergrad. We didn't have grades, didn't have GPAs, didn't have to worry about that. So I was able to thrive in this non-competitive environment. And so I kind of just took that, took the lessons I learned from being at Brown and brought it to law school and actually found a niche area that I wanted to pursue and really became passionate about that. And that's how I found myself, not really being competitive, but just being good at what I wanted to do. So that's sort of like my and like what Grace was saying, I do hire interns. I love mentoring. I love hosting interns. I see you guys as our future. This isn't really, I'm working for your future. So to the extent that you can get involved with the work that we're already doing, please do so.
I'd like to open up questions from the audience.